Today, I'm at Chris, the MLA Chris. I'm at his office. I'm here on Facebook Live every Thursday at 12:15. Glad you found us. We're having a non-political chat with Chris. Right. Yeah, we're all in chatting actually. So we're gonna sign off.
I'm gonna retweet this.
Yeah. Of course, Scott, my IT guy, is here, and any questions you have, you just pass them off to Scott, and he'll pass them on to us. So feel free to share what you're seeing and send us some comments. So Chris, have you ever been in front of the camera before?
I've been in the camera a lot.
You've been in the camera
almost too much, actually.
Okay. How many years have you been doing this?
14.
14.
So the 14 this August.
Okay.
Right? So the beginning of the 2003 election happened, I think it was like August 4th or August 6th.
Okay. So if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
Who knows?
What would you like to be when you grow up?
I have asked that question a lot because, you know, how political lives go, that you don't know from one election to the other where you're going to be or what you're going to do. I don't know at this point. I'd like to be in some kind of management, healthcare, or working in the fisheries of some kind. There's lots of things you could do. Yeah,
as long as you don't want to be a community development officer, I'm fine with that.
Well, been there, done that one too.
Arkle has a good one, so I wouldn't want to lose my job. Have you ever taken a selfie with the Prime Minister?
Not with the Prime Minister.
Oh, I'm disappointed.
And actually, to tell you the truth, I mean, I did meet the Prime Minister when he was official opposition, but I actually, since he's been Prime Minister, I have not actually met him.
Yeah. He's good looking, you know that, right?
They tell me this.
Yeah, he is.
We have the same kind of hair, I hear.
Do you?
No.
I never noticed. I'll look next time. So you're the father of two boys?
Yep, Andre and Alec.
I'm the mother of two boys, not the same boys, obviously.
No.
Being a parent is a job in itself.
They are. They've been busy. I mean, we've changed. Our life has changed a little bit.
I'm sure.
Where Andre is off to university this year, so we don't necessarily have the empty nest, but we're sort of one short.
Yeah.
So where you were cooking for 4, now you're only cooking for 3, and actually we've lost the cyclone a little bit. So we had to pick up after Andre quite a bit, where we don't have to pick up after Alec. So he's off to university, and Alec, of course, is in grade 10.
Yeah. So you must find it quiet in the house. It's
a little quiet, and then Anne's going to find it really quiet because the House of Assembly starts on the 21st. So I'm going to be out for the whole week too. So it's going to be quiet around just her and Alec.
Yeah. My boys are in university. One thing I noticed was the laundry. Like, I don't know, do you do much laundry?
I do, but we've tried to make the boys do it. So when their hamper is full, at least put it in the washer and start it.
Wow.
And we would, whoever comes along can put it in the dryer, but
at least start it.
At least start it.
That's good stuff.
Even though Mum finds, I think, she does a lot of laundry.
Yeah. Mothers tend to do a lot of laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. So did you cry after you dropped off your oldest to university?
Well, it was funny. So we went up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we set him up. We dropped off the stuff, and then we said, okay, we'll spend the night in Moncton because he's going to University of Moncton. We'll spend the night, and we'll actually go in the morning. Make sure he's got everything. We'll do a little more shopping, maybe get some groceries, and then we'll take off. And then we sort of came to that awkward point.
Yeah.
Around 10, 11 o'clock. That's like, okay, it's time to go. So you give him the hug, and I think I took a minute. I had to, and I think Anne was fine.
Yeah.
Which I thought it would be completely opposite, that I'd have to sort of drag her out.
Yes.
And I think I cried just a little bit, just tit-miette.
Yeah, tit-miette, yeah.
Tit-miette.
That's all right. It's hard to leave the kids behind, that's for sure. Speaking of Anne, I know Anne pretty good. Anne tends to be a bit of a prankster around me. She fooled me the other day in a department store. I was shopping for clothing, and she tapped me on the shoulder, and I didn't make eye contact with her, and she asked me if she would help me find anything, and I told her I was just browsing. And then she said that would look nice on me, and I looked at the sales clerk, and it was Anne. And we talked about how tops don't fit in the breast area and some clothing, and she was looking for something special to wear. Now, Anne always has me on my toes. She must have you on your toes.
You do not know what she's going to say.
Yes.
And not that they're inappropriate,
Yeah.
You just don't know where they're going to come from. And you know, we've been together for 30 years. Well, 29, I think, if you add it up. We've been married for 22, and you know, she's still great. Like, she's still, I'm scared of her sometimes because you don't know what's going to happen. But that's what makes the relationship, I think, exciting, because you never quite know what she's going to come out with.
Yeah, I totally believe that. She has me on my toes every time I see her. I totally enjoy her. Let's talk about West Pubnico.
Yep.
So we won the Community Spirit Award. West Pubnico is your
which is awesome.
hometown.
That's the Middle West, 7 houses past the church.
Middle
Actually, it might
West.
be 8 now, because I think there's a new house in between there.
Oh yeah, I think you're
Brian
right,
and
yeah.
Blair built one in between, so
That's
it screws
right.
up my number.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the communities in the municipality of Argyle?
Well, you know, we have some really cool, distinct communities in Argyle. You know,
we do.
as much as you know, if you compare to Clare, Clare has this long community.
Yes.
And they call themselves Clare. Sometimes you're from one end, sometimes you're from the other, but you're from Clare.
Yeah, I hardly know which community I'm running into as I
Right.
drive along.
In Argyle,
Yeah.
you're Pubnico, you're Wedgeport, you're Surratt's Island, you're Quinnen, you're, you know, so you really designate yourself by the community that you're from. From a strength point, I think Pubnico is probably one of the stronger communities that sort of takes care of itself.
Yes.
You can pretty much do anything you want to do in Pubnico, except go watch a movie, but these days you can watch a movie on Netflix, so that doesn't really count. But it really does its own, and it takes care of itself. And if we look at, you know, the Chase the Ace stuff that we've done, you've done,
Yes.
and those kinds of things, you know, it is a very distinct and exciting community,
It is.
and it deserves it compared to other communities in this province.
Yeah, I was pretty excited. One thing that does distinguish one community from the other is the accents,
Yep.
and also the Roppy Pie.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, how runny is the Roppy Pie in Eelbrook?
it's not quite. It's in the middle. So you go to Wedgeport, it's a little runny. You know, middle ways, you know, it's okay, and then Pubnico, it's thick. So you gotta do that. But Dion's is still the better one.
Yeah, still like Dion's.
It's still Dion's.
Yeah, I like Dion's.
Yeah.
I'm not a good Roppy Pie maker, actually, but I do like rabbit in my Roppy Pie.
Yeah, rabbit. Well, when I first started going with Anne, the stories never happened to me, but the story was that the Muse is from Quinnen.
Yes.
So her dad, Dal, was from Quinnen. They would actually have rabbit Roppy Pies, but they would hide the head of the rabbit somewhere in the Roppy Pie, and you won something if you actually got the rabbit. But the head, I can't imagine that myself, but that was actually part of the story from Quinnen.
Is that true?
Anne said it, so who knows?
Do you go to the Wild Game Supper in Quinnen?
I do go to the Wild Game Supper. That's a really great community organization.
Yeah.
So we just did
is something else.
so the Labor Day picnic in Quinnen.
Yes. Ah, I saw a picture. Yeah.
And we did the supper, and Danny Muse and I were the sitters. I guess we were trying to make sure everybody sat down in the correct time and didn't run the line and those kinds of things. But wicked supper that they have there. And then, of course, that wild meat dinner is amazing.
Yeah.
The work that goes into putting it together, finding the meat, and then, you know, you got to really know someone to get a ticket there these days. Like,
I know.
You can't get one if you really tried.
I'm impressed with who comes down. I mean, even Robert and Bob and Tante Anne come
That's right.
down from Mass.
Bob and Ann and so Bob's family.
Yes.
And, you know, he brings his brother, and normally that last year there was a sister.
Yes.
You know, they all come in, and that's their time at home.
Yeah. That's right.
And it's kind of a weird time, because when you think of it, it's February or March when they do it, and not a great time to travel, but people come down just to be at it.
What's your favorite wild game?
I like deer, of course.
Yeah.
You know, anything with deer in it
Deer's good.
is okay. But you know, my favorite thing there so far was a couple years ago. They had smoked bear, and the smoked bear was really, really good.
Yeah, sounds good.
But you know, the moose is always really good, and sometimes they got caribou, and who knows, right?
Yeah. Did you go to the tuna tournament this year?
I did not get there.
Yeah.
I
neither
hate
did
to admit it. It's the first one I've missed. But
Yeah.
this summer was a weird summer, right? So we had the election, and then it sort of quieted down, and we didn't have a lot. There was a lot of things going on, because I mean, you got a Acadian Day, and you got
there was
July
a lot of things
1st, and there was
going
all kinds of stuff going on, and we were running out of weekends, and that weekend we decided, you know, as the four of us, we would actually go to Halifax and
That's
do
nice.
some shopping and just hang out as a gang. So we
That
missed
is
it.
nice. Can we talk about politics?
I guess.
I have a question about politics.
I guess.
Yeah, I have white pants on today. I
Yeah.
don't know if you noticed, but I have white pants on. And I was wondering, is there some kind of parliament bill, like, am I still allowed to wear white pants after Labor Day? Is that
There is no
written
law.
anywhere?
There is no law. That is, somebody made that up. I mean,
Okay.
I'm wearing sort of white shoes today. I mean, if you really count that. And that's
You said they were slippery. Yes,
they're
nice
a little-
Converse
they're a little
sneakers on.
They're slippery, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's no real rule on that one.
Yeah. You're
And
pretty casual today.
and
No
we'll-
tie?
No, there's no tie today. I had a meeting this morning, but I figured I'm going to be wearing ties after the 21st, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna wait.
Do you get a lot of ties for Christmas?
No, Anne has learned over the years that she doesn't buy me clothes because she misjudges my size, which is trouble, and B, I just go and buy my own stuff,
Okay.
and do a pretty good job of it. So she just lets me be.
Tell me one of your favorite Christmas gifts you ever received.
Favorite Christmas gift? Well,
Most
is
memorable
it me giving or me receiving?
No, you
Because
received
my
it.
favorite one was the time I surprised my wife with a cruise.
Oh wow!
Like
That's nice.
that was my favorite one, because there was two things that happened that year. That was the year that her dad had passed away,
Yes.
and he had just passed, and Christmas was rolling up,
Mm-hmm.
and I had, completely unbeknownst to her, this is the first time I ever tried surprising her with a Christmas gift, and we had a cruise to the Caribbean.
Nice.
So that was my favorite one. Now,
Yeah.
over the years, I mean, Christmas is Christmas, about the kids, right?
It's all
been the
about
kids the last
It's all
18
about the
years,
kids. Yeah. I always ask a personal question
Yep.
when I get close to the end. So, who takes longer to get ready when you guys go out to something special? You or Anne?
It's a little bit of both. There's times I take longer in the washroom. So by the time I do my stuff and showers and hair and shave and mess around and do whatever I do to get ready, I'm probably longer. The problem is with Anne, she just takes less time, but she starts later in the process. She's got lots of other things that she's trying to deal with and do. So therefore, she's normally late, but she's taking less time to be late.
Yeah.
If that makes any
Oh.
sense at all.
Total sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, women and men are a lot different. And growing up with sons, I often try to give them like a woman's perspective on stuff when they find women are dramatic, and when we overthink stuff a lot.
Drama is what my kids are calling it now.
Drama.
Too much drama. You ask Alec if he has a girlfriend or not. He said, I don't want one. I said, well, why? Too much drama.
Yeah. So I always try to tell them, well, women overthink stuff, and men, you guys don't even think. You
We just do.
You just do. So, how's the communication with you and your son now that he's in university? Are you giving him lots of advice?
Well, I'm trying to find out how he's doing, which is just, how are your classes? And I get, good. How are you? Fine. What's going on? Nothing. So, we haven't got really past the one-syllable responses yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he's having a good time and learning a whole bunch of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping at some point I'll get like maybe a full sentence.
Yeah. So they can always keep track of you, I'm sure. And you have a great presence in social media. You should be proud of that.
I try, and there's sometimes I forget to put something down, but most times every week I try to get 3 or 4 or 5 things in there.
That's good.
And just retweet, so the good things going on, and talk about the good things that are happening in your community.
Oh, there's a lot of great stuff happening here. A lot of great stuff happening right in your place. A new restaurant on the end.
La Trees Inn.
Have you ate there? Yes, I've seen you there.
I've eaten there far too much already. The good breakfast. I like the breakfast. So my schedule when I'm home is kind of I'm running into a rut here, which is a good rut.
Yeah.
But it's get to work, head over to the trees around 9 o'clock, have a coffee, have a breakfast, find out what's going on, solve a number of problems, create a few more, and then come to the office around 10. And sort of do your work from there.
That's nice.
Sometimes I get over to the Barrington office and make sure I get some work done over on that side. But lately, because of the trees, and it seems like I'm stuck here, so I need to start working a little bigger for this bigger constituency that we represent,
That's right.
which is hanging out in Barrington sometimes too.
So when the house opens, it's going to be a whole new world.
It's a whole new world, and as house leader, so I'm the house the opposition house leader. So I have to sort of manage my MLAs, so the 17
Yes.
members that we have in our caucus now. Make sure that bills are passed in a certain way. Make sure people have their questions. Make sure people are ready to speak on whatever topic might come forward. So I end up being sort of the coach of what goes on. So my job ends up being really busy when the House goes in session.
So you don't have much time to daydream when you're there.
No, but I do have time to Twitter and
Yeah.
do some social media. I mean, it is the only thing you really get to do outside of, making sure. And we've got new people in our in our caucus, so they're going to need a little extra work. And
So when you're
a little
new,
extra help.
you need a little more coaching and a little.
A lot of times,
I mean?
depending on what's going on, I mean, we ask of them, okay, well, here's this bill. It's important
Yes.
to you, so therefore you should talk about it and why it's important to your community or you or whoever you're representing. And sometimes we say, today I want you to take a half hour and talk about that, depending on how much time is available to others. You could be filibustering. You could be talking to a bill you didn't like, so you need to speak for a whole hour. So as a new person, you're thinking, I can't get through 10 minutes of speaking. But when you're there for a while, the hour seems to drip by so quickly that you're only halfway through what you wanted to talk about and your hour's done. So you need to help people along with that.
Yeah, that's good. We're glad to have you. And it's nice talking with you today.
Hey, this is great, and I like watching the shows and then seeing all our little community, all the people within it. We see them all the time, but we forget how important they actually are and the things that they do for us.
We're all
It's
important.
kind of cool.
Each and every one of us.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us. See you next Thursday, same time.
Ciao.